Ever since Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave was revealed, fans have been theorizing about many aspects of the game. And now, with the second trailer revealing to us a date and some new footage, fans' theories and discussion have been going even wilder. This video will be discussing about the possibility of a second gen in Fortune's Weave, how it could be executed, and what could be the reasons for them to introduce it. At first glance, the answer seems a simple no. We already seen a huge number of characters revealed through trailers, promotional art, and gameplay footage. In previous Fire Emblem games with child mechanics, such as Awakening and Fates, the groundwork for future generations was usually obvious fairly early on. But then Trailer 2 gave us something unexpected. A mysterious villain appears holding a baby, and that single scene may completely change how we should be looking at Fortune's Weave. Before we dive into theories, let's talk about why many fans are skeptical. So far, Fortune's Weave has already introduced a substantial cast of characters. We've met Kai, Dietrich, Theodora, and Lita, along with numerous allies, rivals, and supporting characters. The roster already feels surprisingly large for a game that hasn't even launched yet. That's important because traditional second generation Fire Emblem games require a massive cast. Not only do you need the parents, but you also need all of their potential children. That's a huge amount of characters, poor conversations, artwork, voice acting, and balancing. Based on what we've seen so far, Fortune's Weave doesn't look like it's building towards that kind of system. In fact, if I had to guess based only on the currently revealed roster, I would say that a traditional Awakening or Fate style child mechanic is unlikely. But then, we get to the baby. Near the end of the second trailer, we see what appears to be a villainous figure holding an infant. We can barely see it, but if you pause on the right moment, you can definitely tell it's a baby on her arms. The question is, why would they make it so hard to see both the face of our villain and what she is holding? It feels like it's something that the devs wanted to hide away since it would spoil something for us. In storytelling, babies are rarely shown without a reason. The obvious interpretation is that this child is important. The real question is, important how? Some people have said that maybe the baby is Kai, before he was experimented on and received those strange powers he seems to have. Either way, you cannot deny that it invites many questions about the plot of the game. Could it be the child of one of our heroes? Could it be a divine figure? Could it be some kind of vessel for an ancient power? Or could it be something much, much darker? Here's a theory I keep coming back to. What if this baby grows up? And what if the game features a major time skip? Imagine this scenario. The first half of Fortune's Weave focuses on the heroic games and the conflict we already seen in the trailers. Our heroes eventually confront the villain, but instead of completely ending the thread, the villain's plan succeed in some way. The baby survives. Years pass. Then the story jumps forward. When we return, that baby is now a teenager or young adult. And then, they become the next major antagonist. Suddenly, the child we've seen since infancy becomes the final obstacle our heroes must overcome. That would be an incredible plot twist. It would also explain why the trailer puts so much effort on hiding that scene, revealing nothing else about the child. Now, here's where my theory differs from what some fans are expecting. When people hear children in Fire Emblem, they immediately think of Awakening or Fates, specifically Fates. In Fates, the children essentially become playable units who join the army while their parents remain active. The children don't really replace the original cast, they're more like additional recruits. Personally, I don't think that's what's happening here. Instead, I think Fortune's Weave could be drawing inspiration from Fire Emblem genealogy of the Holy War. For those unfamiliar, Genealogy features one of the most famous twists in the series. The game undergoes a massive time skip. Most of the first generation ends up, well, dying. The story is transitioned from one generation to the next then. The consequences of the first generation's actions directly shape the world inherited by the second generation. That's the kind of structure I could see Fortune's Weave using. Not a system where everyone gets married and unlocks child units, not a deep realm style explanation like Fates, but a genuine narrative time skip. A jump forward in time that dramatically changes the world. The baby from trailer 2 could serve as a bridge between those two eras. If this theory is correct, the implications are huge. Imagine seeing older versions of our protagonists. Imagine returning to the kingdoms that have completely changed. Imagine seeing the consequences of decisions made during the first half of the game. And most importantly, imagine facing a villain whose entire existence has been foreshadowed since the beginning. The baby would no longer be a mystery. The baby would become the culmination of the entire story. Of course, we need to be realistic. There are several reasons this theory could be completely wrong. The scene could be a flashback. The child might be simply saved by our team, given back to the real parents, or something like that. At this point, we simply do not know. So, do I think Fortune's Weave will have children? Not in the traditional Awakening or Fate sense. The roster is already large, like I said, and there hasn't been much evidence pointing toward a full child unit system. However, I do think the mysterious baby from trailer 2 could be incredibly important. My current theory is that the game will feature a major time skip, more similar to Genealogy of the Holy War than Fates. That baby may grow up to become the next major villain our heroes are forced to defeat. But that's just my theory. What do you think? Will Fortune's Weave have children? Will there be a time skip? And who exactly is that baby from trailer 2? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next random video I may or may not decide to do in God knows when. See ya!